My name is Kaylin, and I am a senior psychology major at the University of Texas at Austin. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can advocate for your child's play within the context of education and development. This semester I took a class called Play and Early Childhood Development, where we discussed the vastly broad topic of play. We discussed the questions of what is play? How does it fit within the context of our everyday lives? How is play important to us and to children? How can it be used within the context of development and as a bridge to children's development? And what is restricting play? And what can be done to encourage it? These questions are not only vital to understanding as an educator and as a parent, but in understanding the true nature of ourselves as a person. The final project for this class was for me to reach out to an audience and share with them how they can advocate for play within a specific context. So, to anyone who has children, or who works with children, or who cares about being involved within our future generations, this is for you. Children learn through their experiences, and children experience through play. So, in order to acknowledge the importance of supporting a child's agency and opportunity in their path of learning, we must first create the time for play, shape the environment for play, and engage their curiosity. So for my first point, creating the time for play. Back in 2001, the United States Department of Education passed the No Child Left Behind Act, or the NCLB. And ever since the implementation of the NCLB, schools have steadily decreased the amount of time spent allowing kids to choose their activities and increased the amount of time spent in classroom instruction. So play within the classroom has basically all but disappeared ever since the NCLB was passed. The pressure to improve test scores stripped schools of the opportunity to express freedom within their curriculum and their activities. Throughout decades of research, play has been proven to support developmental skills of children, such as social competence, perspective taking, literacy, language learning, self-regulation, math knowledge, complex narrative development, and general problem solving. Obviously, changing policy is not something that we can fix overnight. There are people and organizations that are working and barking up the tree to try and change some of these policies, especially brought on by the NCLB, to try and give our children more freedom within the classroom, more time to play and be kids, and give educators and administrators within our public school education system the opportunity to do what they would like to do with the children and have more freedom in what they do, how they do it, and how they interact with the kids. So this leaves us with the question, what can we do to implement play within children's learning? How can we make that time? First thing that I want to suggest is allowing children to play with children of different ages and different peers. So, if you've ever heard of the developmental theorist Vygotsky, he has a few theories that I would like to mention. Vygotsky's theory of scaffolding shows that children can learn from each other through experience, through play, through direction. Vygotsky also developed the theory of the zone of proximal development, which states that there is a level of performance of a skill that is in between the ability to do it by oneself independently and the ability to do it with assistance. That sweet spot right in the middle is the zone of proximal development, where with the help of peers and the help of teachers and the help of parents and babysitters, etc., you are able to grasp and perform a skill in which you couldn't do it independently, but you were still able to engage with that information and internalize it and build upon it. Also, when it comes to making the time for play, is giving kids time to play before they do their homework, especially outside. Video games are great for certain skills and forms of development. However, a variety of play forms is important for multimodal learning. For example, arts and crafts, outside free play, physical toys, puzzles, sports, etc. are all great ways for kids to just kind of let loose and make that time to play and have those experiences. Of course, homework and assignments are very important. However, school is exhausting for the developing mind. And we spend hours at, work, or for me, I guess college, putting in all this effort all day long, and we are exhausted by the time we get home. So it's important that we understand that kids are as well, and that we give them that time to kind of just relax and refocus and kind of get out some of that energy and not be restricted in their home environment. Now for my second point, which was shape the environment for play, I'm going to start off with a quote from Robin Moore from one of my favorite readings that I had this semester in my class. It reads, "Natural spaces and materials stimulate children's limitless imaginations and serve as the medium of inventiveness and creativity observable in almost any group of children playing in a natural setting." It doesn't take scientific research for us to know that outdoor play has diminished throughout the generations. It's not near as prominent as it used to be. Playgrounds, yards, fields are all environments of which children have the freedom to create a sense of adventure, face challenges, and exert themselves physically, socially, and cognitively. Safety is obviously paramount whenever it comes to our children's play. Making sure that they're going to come back home safely and that they're not going to break all their bones or their head, which is something my mom used to always tell me as a kid. So you're gonna break your head, don't do that. Not really, but you get my point. But encouraging and allowing for children's outdoor exploration builds the stepping stones to developing a sense of autonomy and creativity. So allowing them to go outside and have that free time to just run around. Yes, organized sports are great. In my hometown, they were so prominent. I swear almost every single kid I knew was doing organized sports of one sort or the other. But it's a little different than just being able to go out and do whatever you want and create those connections and regulations with other peers and within their own context. It's really important for them to have the experience and build on some of the skills that I've been talking about. So as I mentioned whenever talking about making the time for play, the school day is draining for children. The classroom structure is great for a school environment in receiving instruction. However, just like adults in the office, it's kind of like a box, keeping them blocked in and making them, focus on a task and completing that task. And it can be really draining and exhausting. Children, just like us adults, need and deserve their privacy and space. So it's really important for us adults and parents and teachers to recognize that and respect that and give children their own time to remove themselves from the stress of having to be a student all day and just come home, be by themselves for a second, de-stress, and be a kid. And for my last and final point, engaging their curiosity. In a 2006 comparative analysis study of kindergartners and fifth graders in a classroom, Susan Engel recorded the number of curiosity episodes, which included any time that a child asked a question to learn more, tinkered with an object to discover more about it, opened something to look at it and evaluate it, or used gestures to learn more as well. All of those things were counted as, these curiosity episodes. And on average, the kindergartners performed about 2 to 5 curiosity episodes every 2 hours, and the fifth graders only performed 0 to 2 episodes every 2 hours. This goes to show that children are spending hours in school without asking a single question or trying to discover anything new. So this leads us to ask, what is it that's causing children to lose their sense of curiosity? What is it with age, and what is it within school and maybe our societal expectations that is restricting just us allowing them to be curious? When adults only answer the question asked by children and interact with them in an aloof and critical way, children are less likely to be engaging and exploratory. However, when an adult shows active interest through smiling, eye contact, occasional interjection, and showing focus by asking leading questions, pointing things out, and giving positive reinforcement, children are going to express inquisitiveness, curiosity, exploration, and engagement in what it is that they are talking about. The focus of teachers making sure that students stay on task and reach the required levels of comprehension, and the focus of parents making sure that children act with respect and responsibility is unconsciously reinforcing the restriction on children's curiosity. So, in bringing all of this up, my main point is to just ask adults to think about how they are interacting with children whenever they are asking questions. Are you asking a question back? Are you just answering the question that they asked? Are you, interjecting and, redirecting the conversation to continue? I know it's really hard to sometimes resist the urge to be like, oh, that's nice, sweetie, and move along. And in my time working with kids, I know that that's really easy, and especially I can't imagine because I'm not a parent myself, but if I was a parent and I was on edge, just stressed out, had a lot going on, it would be really hard for me not to just kind of push it to the side. But what I'm just asking teachers and parents and adults alike is to kind of try and think more thoroughly as to what it is you're saying to the children, how you're responding to the children, and what you can be doing to kind of reinvigorate that curiosity in what they're talking about. Asking more questions, pointing things out, any of things of those sorts is going to be great for confirming that their curiosity is valid. Children, whenever you shut them down, are more likely to be like, oh, well, it's just not important. What I'm thinking isn't important. And although they might not express this or really realize that that's what they're feeling, subconsciously that could definitely be going on. So, if we can confirm that what they're talking about, what they're asking about are valid questions by engaging with them, smiling, the eye contact, all those things that you would expect within like a professional work environment almost with as an adult, is something that we can do to reinforce that curiosity and encourage that curiosity, and will reflect itself in your children's education and their learning and what they want to ask, what they want to figure out, and help them take that initiative in themselves. All right, so in conclusion, today I talked about how by advocating for children's play through creating the time for play, shaping the environment for play, and engaging their curiosity, we're acknowledging the importance of supporting a child's agency and opportunity in their path of learning and development. I hope that some of what I shared from my own experience and understanding of children's play that I learned about this semester is something that has opened your eyes to what play is and how we can encourage and advocate for it and can be implemented within your own lives. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions about some of the readings that I talked about and some of the research that I talked about in my video, I am going to share the citations for them. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment, send me a message, anything of those sorts. I'm really glad to talk about it because I really enjoyed this class this semester, and it's something that I realized I was actually pretty passionate about. So yeah, thank you. Want to be in the video? You say hi. Say hi to the camera.